Hi guys!
Yo.
This is our You Love Yourself tier review session, and we are on the fourth song. And I'm Ildi.
And I'm Ben.
Ah, that was strong. As you guys know, we are usually go into very much detail, even if when we watch or like react to a video. So we thought it would be interesting as our, music producer, like music production expert, Ben in our team to kind of get his thoughts on this album, because I was surprised. And there is going to be a next song. You said the previous video it's a binary code. Do you know what it stands for?
It's not really.
You know what it stands for?
I mean, I can see there because it's in the brackets. It's Pluto.
Oh yeah, apparently like this was when like Pluto either was, I'm not sure, either it was discovered, it was turned back from like out. It's not a what was it? It's not a planet anymore or something. So it's there's kind of like that metaphor going on about like saying goodbye to something. But I haven't seen the lyrics so far, so I'm actually curious what will happen. And we are changing from the ballad. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, okay. I remember this song. We listened to the album already. This reminds me, this mixing, so much early BTS is oh. It sounds early BTS to me, like second album.
Interesting.
I love the flute because it's an actual instrument. It's not an electronic one, you see.
So the guitar. It's nice to hear.
Again, Rat Monster, just being an intellectual as always. A plural form, you what?
Us is a plural of you.
Yeah. This is why BTS fans just love, BTS rappers. Because like sometimes it's just like a riddle. The whole lyrics are just again, Jimin's voice. But it's a nice complementary vocals with Jin. I think the nasally voice when it comes out, it's quite pleasant to listen to.
Filter that sugar.
Yeah.
Sieve it before it goes in your tea.
Absolutely love Suga's speaking voice. It's almost like he's returning back home from having a drink. Just like, you know what, I'm going to tell you how I feel actually. Either record it in a voicemail or just rap it on an album. And you know what, this is how I feel. This is an interesting metaphor, this whole Pluto thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting metaphor. There's a bit of... This is very much like a late night having a drink before the party starts in a club kind of vibe.
Yeah. Bring in the brass.
Yeah. I really like the flute solo in the background. I think it fits very well. Huh. Interesting. Guys, I'm not a fan of the flute in general. And I tell you why. Personal story. I still kind of play, I would say. I haven't practiced in a while, but I play the saxophone.
Oh, cool.
And like an alto saxophone. And so I was obviously practicing jazz and whatever. And the girls, I know this is bad, but you know, usually in our music school, you know, the girls who played the flute, they always pretended to be good girls. But in reality, like, they were usually like, you know, pretty strong, you know, personalities. And it's almost just trying to quote the fact with like, oh yeah, flute. So it's like, I was
That's
like,
such a weird reason to dislike flute.
no, but like, I think, you know, but obviously flute is used a lot in like, you know, ambient and softer jazz. It's used, but I'm a core to the heart saxophone girl.
You like a good solo.
Yeah.
You like a bit of Baker Street.
You know what? You know why I wanted to play? I wanted to play the saxophone to learn because Bruce Springsteen. Do you know Bruce Springsteen? And he has this. He had Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Yeah.
And he has an amazing band, and the saxophone player who plays a tenor saxophone. There's this one of my favorite songs called "Waiting on a Sunny Day." And there's an amazing saxophone solo in it, which was like, I wanted to play that, so I learned saxophone. But anyway, so I'm not a fan of the flute, but I think it was really good that it stayed strong and consistent in the background in terms of changing up the melody, and it wasn't repetitive or just like, you know, having an extra addition as a flute and then, you know, we tick the box of being edgy. You get what I mean? It was a running thing.
It was constant, yeah.
It was very constant.
It was interesting as well because they either sampled the hell out of the flute or they kind of combined it with panpipes. Because there's a lot going on back there. That's a lot of woodwindy good stuff.
That's true.
In the background that I'm kind of enjoying the whole way through. Just kind of mixing it up after the guitar chords come in.
It's interesting because adding, you know, pipes and adding flutes, it always, you know, lifts up the production somehow because it just feels a bit lighter. Yeah. Well, I definitely had that, like, you know, dimmed lights, you know, what cocktail are we ordering?
Don't say dim the lights.
Dim the lights. What is that? Which one is that song, Dim the Lights?
We're gonna double your heart, form lady.
Lights. Oh, okay, now I know. Oh, Childy. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm getting confused, but I know I remember the song. It's but yeah, it gave me. I'm standing by
the lights.
I'm standing by my opinion, okay?
You can do that. That's fine. It's just gonna remind me of that song forever.
Oh well, definitely. Like, I don't know what. But again, it's kind of because of the flute. It also reminded me of, and I wrote this down when I was originally, you know, listening to the song. That like, because of the saxophone and I did a lot of singing. I used to go to jazz improv.
Oh, cool.
Improv, you know, kind of club nights all the time. And because, like, you know, many people would assume that the song's production is, like, you know, quite repetitive. There are, like, not you know, any change in the music in terms of, like, it's kind of like the same chord progression, blah, blah, blah. But it reminds me, that whole loop, it reminds me of, like, you know, the jazz improvisation or just generally music improvisation loops and how they work. Because we would have the same loop on a night like that for 15 minutes basically, and then people would come in, different instruments or like,
solo
you know,
on top of it.
Yeah, and like singing on top of the music, come up with harmonies, and then the musicians gradually start to change the song. Actually, you know what? I realized something. I wanted this song to be connected to the next.
Okay.
So it's like a straight, like, or like there is no, it just goes into, like, you know, one of my favorite albums ever is it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
Oh, yeah.
By the Beatles. And, like, they were the ones who actually introduced the concept of an album, meaning that the songs are not singles, but they actually connected and there is a running theme and concept. That was the Beatles, by the way, at least in popular music. They were very much like somebody who, like, they pushed the idea and along with other rock musicians in terms of popular music. But, so I wanted, because it was almost just fading out, and I wanted it to fade into something else.
Yeah, I can get that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of, like, what was there was nice, but I'd have liked it to go somewhere else. Like, it was just kind of like a loop the whole way through.
But at the same time, it also conveys the message of the separation. It's like, you used to be something. It's almost like, you know, like a melancholic saying goodbye.
Well, it's kind of like, almost like he's dissing the relationship. Because he's like, oh, everything's still the same. Don't matter if you're together or not. Stay the same, mate. Life goes on.
Wow. Well, with that message, that life goes on. We are going to go on to see the next song. And again, guys...
Nice segue.
I'm trying to make sense of the segues, because otherwise we could talk about these things for hours, guys, and we need to make it like, you know, concise to a certain extent. Again, let us know what you thought. What was your impression of the song, impression of the lyrics, because we talk very much about, you know, music, but lyrics are very important. And again, you know, share your thoughts and let's get into discussion in a very civilized manner, because this is how we do it on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.